Hello again, and welcome back to another one. And today we have a couple of topics to cover, including more that shows that since the battle between Kendrick Lamar and Drake, hip-hop fans have been on the edge, ready to strike whenever they get a whiff of something they deem even slightly disrespectful to either Kendrick or Drake. And today we got one from Nas that's been interpreted as taking a dig at the likes of Drake, and Drake fans came for his neck shortly after this hit the web. And as usual, I'll leave it up to you guys to decide on if Drake fans are reaching with this one. More on this in a moment. And speaking on Drake, we got Fat Joe out here with a statement that's got Drake fans going off right now about how they were right all along about the consequences of the quote, elimination of Drake. More on this in a moment, and today we have more that continues the streak of L's that the game has taken after he went on the clout run to discredit the likes of Eminem, as we got another example that made headlines to add to the collection that shows the game was talking out of his bum at the time. And on Eminem we got more that sparked heated debates about his label, and to be honest, like Tenderism, they've been getting cooked over the last few hours. More on this later. And starting with Nas, triggering many Drake fans on social media, he's getting called out for being a quote hypocrite after a snippet of his verse on De La Soul's upcoming album was teased on the Joe and Jada podcast, and it included these lyrics. How it was sick, how did it slip? Now it is just Doechii, Dot and Caesar with the most powerful hit, Leon Thomas, Shabuzi with country rap, only black artists at the top of the chart, and it didn't take long for the rant to follow. I guess Cole and Drake don't exist, and perhaps in Nas's opinion, only Doechii, Dot and Caesar have dropped the most powerful hits lately, keyword powerful, or perhaps those names just fit better in his rhyme scheme. You'd have to ask Nas to expand on that one, I don't know. And users kept going, Nas a legend, my personal GOAT, but the charts don't matter. I don't even know how he's saying this. He facilitated multiple great rap albums this year that didn't see any mainstream success. If anything, we should be supporting the artists, not playing the Billboard games. And boy, some hip-hop fans play too much. Wow. 3 artists from the same label? That's why the streaming numbers went down. All the money went to Nas for this shout out, clapping emojis. And on a more serious note, here's one I'll throw over to you guys. Now we can be critical here. Is it about the charts or not? Nas is a hip-hop legend, a titan speaking about the charts, so where's the line? But the truth is, when the people you like are doing good, you gotta flex it. Even if it is about the charts, it is still an accomplishment at the end of the day. And talk about jumping to conclusions. This how I know Nas washed laughing emoji. Of all the heat out, this dude said Doechii, and some users escalated things to the point that now they are posting screenshots like this. Never forget what Khalees said. And talk about escalating things. This goes back to allegations of DV from 2018 that got Kendrick fans fire back with takes like, "Aw, he didn't mention Drake. What am I gonna do with my life now?" But what are your thoughts? Are Drake fans doing too much over these bars, as some have now accused Nas of being on TDE's payroll over this? And moving on, we got Fat Joe with a take on Drake that's got his fans going off.
The #1 producer of K-pop is the dude from fucking Compton, hip-hop dude from Compton. It's always our source that goes to every other genre, whatever the case may be. Country music, same shit. They using our pen. The flip side is the art more important? You know what I'm saying? So I feel like we've been getting great hip-hop lately, whether it's the Mobb Deep album or the Clips, or just because they ain't charting, Cardi B's album was crazy. So just because they ain't charting on the top 40 Billboard doesn't mean the art, people ain't creating.
It don't mean we.
I've been happy with hip hop this year.
Shout out to Clips, man. 5 Grammy nominations. You know what I mean? That means something. So somewhere something ain't mathing.
Yeah, it's the art. Everybody just said the Billboard, the hits. Let's make dope music. And the people are saying, I love it. You know what I'm saying? The critics, whatever, saying I love it. And so, you know, when they eliminated Drake off the charts, you know, they went on that full court
I don't
press.
think they eliminated him. I think he just chilled. I think he chilled.
Yeah,
I think
but
he
he
gonna
chilled.
come back.
He ain't
I
chilled
think he
for like
gonna come back and massive destructive takeover.
No, I agree 1,000,000,000%. But what I'm saying for right now, you know, you realize that Drake was probably keeping us in that top 40 for 5-10 years. Like every record he made was going number one. So it's like any records he made was going number one. I think he battling Michael Jackson for the most number ones. He was on that chart. You know they making a Michael Jackson movie. You heard about that?
And while Drake fans are going off with takes like, what annoys me is all of a sudden, after the fact, everyone realizes what we've been saying this whole time about the whole industry try to eliminate Drake. But nobody but his fans said a word during Shake My Freaking Head. But clearly it is not everyone, because on the other end, Fat Joe is catching strays right now. Don't be obtuse. This happened because the label pushed his music. Please don't act like there hasn't been any good hip-hop in the last 10 years. It just wasn't pushed by the label. And some are asking Fat Joe, why couldn't he do it this year with dropping 30 plus songs and songs dropped recently, thinking emoji. And I guess we will get our answers after Iceman drops if Drake fails to get another #1 single.
I don't think that Drake is not gonna never have like a #1 record again.
I'm not sure he will.
And yes, Drake threw some shade at the current state of hip-hop in a recent interview when he discussed his rollout strategy with Iceman. And from the interview, Drake breaks down his Iceman live streams. I've been dying for a challenge. And from the article, Drake adds, I was asked by a creative partner what I love and hate about rolling out an album. Drake tells Complex over email. I expressed that I love the opportunity for a clean slate of thoughts and excitement and messaging when it comes to the music. What I hate is the redundancy of this formulaic approach that's ingrained in our brains from early label days. Single, video, album cover post, etc. So when it came time for the rollout of his 9th studio album Iceman, he wanted to try something new, a series of theatrical live streams on YouTube where he could debut new singles and build up a storyline around the project before it drops. I have been dying to act and have been dying for a challenge, he says. The game is extremely calm seas right now. Nobody's rocking any boat on the water. And so once we discussed a livestream rollout, it just sounded like the perfect mix of risk and reward to me. And clearly some media journals aren't fans of this approach, and some have fired back at Drake. The rap game is boring now because the music being made is boring. A livestream album rollout isn't gonna change that. And Wale wasn't having it. Using your platform to say this, boring to who? Real question, but what are your thoughts? And since Drake's Club Paradise tour from 2012 featured opening acts like Kendrick, J. Cole, A$AP Rocky, Meek Mill, among others, and we all know what went down between these artists since then, A$AP Ferg recently spoke on why the acts involved ended up having issues with each other, with the biggest being Drake versus Kendrick. Check it out.
But you know, coming up, like, Kendrick was amazing art. He's not the Kendrick we know today.
Of course, yeah.
Drake was big, but
Drake was massive.
He was not even. Yeah, this is the
Superstar era.
This is Amphitheater and Gems,
right?
Like era. But to me, that shit was like, we doing arenas, like that's what it looked like to me.
Right, a second album. That was like Take Care, yeah.
And then we linking up, we going, it just opened up a whole different world to me. And like,
when you think about like how crazy it is to fast forward and almost everyone who was on that tour together is at odds with each other, it's kind of crazy.
I feel like that's kind of natural though, because even when you think about the family dynamic and like little brother, big brother things, you know, a lot of the times a little brother want to grow up and prove himself and don't want to be under the wing of the big brother. Like, so that happens a lot, like people grow into individuals. And a lot of the times where we start is not who we really are. We still growing into the person we are.
Right.
So the K-Dot that was on tour, or the Drake that was on tour, the Rocket that was on tour, the Ferg that was on tour, is not that same person. We were still learning ourselves. When you grow, you can't expect for the relationship to be the same.
Yeah, no, that's real.
And for some reason, this is being reported by some as ASAP Ferg says Kendrick and Rocky act like little brothers, just trying to prove themselves to their big brother Drake. Certainly a wild take to get from that video, and in Kendrick's corner, some have fired back with, mind you, Kendrick Lamar acts more mature than Drake by far, and he stayed out the way. Drake acts like the little brother who acts like his fame is dignity, lol. But what are your thoughts on Ferg's explanation on why they all fell out since then? And moving on, today we got some more to add to the collection of receipts that showed Game was talking out of his bum when he was downplaying Eminem for clout a while back.
And I'll take it away from you. When have you ever heard an Eminem song in the club? When have you ever heard in the locker room like, yo, this is the new M, I'm about to go crazy?
And since then, we've got multiple receipts proving otherwise. For instance, Eminem getting played in stadiums, like from the last European football tournament that featured Eminem songs blasted to 50-60,000 fans right before penalty shootouts and more. And the statement, when have you heard Eminem in the locker rooms, isn't going well too. As under the report, Savon Revel Jr. recaps exciting NFL Cowboys debut. We got some more, and wait for it, but it started with, after a long rehab process to recover from a torn ACL, Cowboys rookie cornerback Savon Revel Jr. finally made his NFL debut on Monday night in Las Vegas. It was very exciting, Revel said. Leading into it, I had butterflies. Leading into it though, I got in the locker room. I walked around the field before the game just to kind of get the feel of the atmosphere. Came back to the locker room, listened to some music, you know? The music that gets you bumping, gets you focused, and gets you ready to go out there and play.
And continue.
What got him bumping ahead of his first football game in 429 days was Till I Collapse by Eminem.
Yeah. Telling y'all.
Along with a natural confidence in himself that stems from the belief his family has in him. And when it comes to Game getting cooked since his clout run, he's been falling off the bone.
So if it... Boy, look here, this is tenderism at its best.
And moving on, over on Reddit, Eminem's Shady Records is also getting cooked right now over the whereabouts of Izzy Mill's announced project that's yet to happen, and this tweet lit the fuse. Izzy Mill still hasn't released a standard release studio album under Shady Records despite signing over 800 days ago. And on Reddit, anybody else forgot Izzy Mill was signed to Shady Records, and boy, the label's been getting cooked like Game. He's signed to Shady Aftermath, StatQuo 2.0 at this point, and they kept going, Bobby Creekwater, and some believe this is gonna be worse than Stat. At least Stat was very, very close to see an actual release. We knew for sure his album was done. Partial tracklist revealed plus singles, Easy was a lost hope from the start, and we got an interesting exchange. I'm surprised no one that decides to diss Eminem has ever taken shots at his failing label, which is actually very valid criticism and holds a lot of merit, and this is not entirely true, as that Benzino ghost-written diss track Rap Elvis actually took shots at this, and another user expanded. Because he doesn't sign artists that can chart, he signs lyricists that he likes, but most of the time they aren't very marketable by today's music standards. None of them ever seem to have anything bad to say about M after the fact, oddly enough. And I'll be looking forward to your thoughts on these topics in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next one.